All right. Hi, everybody. Stan Townsend here. I'm going to try to do this without messing this thing up. I'm not a virus expert, for one, but I do know a heck of a lot about our immune system and keeping it healthy by using foods, herbs, and vitamins, especially during this troubled time when we have a lot of things challenging us. You know what? Let's just be realistic here. This isn't the first virus to ever come our way in the last 40 years, right? If we stay calm, don't worry, be happy, and just kind of chill out, our body will heal itself. So here's my point here. Over 80% of the people that have this virus don't even know that, right? Think about this. And so it's so important that you understand that this virus actually mostly only affects old geezers like me with underlying issues. Okay. I have scar tissue in my lungs from Vietnam, from Agent Orange, and from working in mines and various other things. And they label it COPD. But thank God I do a lot of breathing exercises and I play handball. I mean, come on, that's the gem right there, right? The game of barbarians keeps my lungs expanded, and most people wouldn't even know that I have that. Although you will hear me clearing my throat from time to time and kind of going kind of like that when I do the morning show. But that's just part of life, and I've learned how to deal with it by using herbs and foods and using vitamins, right? So this thing is not to alarm you, but I really want to teach you if I can. Everybody knows that social distancing, washing your hands with soap and water, wearing a mask, all those things, we know those things work. But nothing works better than your own disposition. So don't let all this negative crap get into your head and mess you all up, okay? Because it can. When you let it get into your head, there's this philosophy out there. It was called the Hopi Rock. And do some research, HOPI, Hopi Rock. And it talks about the levels of people. And it talks about how those people that let this thing get into their head, they seem to die. Whereas the other ones that go back to earth and go back and be grounded seem to survive. So, I look at this like this is an opportunity for all of us to grow or live in fear. I mean, it's your choice, right? It's your option. We're going to come out of this. Don't you worry about it. Just keep calm, do all the right things, be kind to each other, support those people that are serving us out there in the medical arena. And God bless my daughter. She's also a nurse up in Utah, and she works in the senior citizen, the geriatric ward. So keep her in your prayers and thoughts. But you got to get this stuff out of your head and get back to the basics, right? Yes, wash with soap, right? Yes, distance yourself from other people. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what they've touched. You don't know where it's been. You don't know anything about it, right? But here are some studies that may help you. When this virus attaches itself to cardboard or something like that, it'll last 3-4 hours, maybe 3 days, right? But when it attaches to plastics and stainless steel, that virus can stay alive for like 3 weeks or more. So I just wanted to show you some things. I'm a real strong fan of wearing a mask. And the reason I say that is because the countries that have survived this the best are the ones that wear the mask. Yes, they wear the mask because they live in polluted areas, right? But the mask has protected them. And so if you can't get one of those N95 masks, which really belong in the medical arena, you can make your own. I mean, I did this. This is really simple. It's a coffee filter, right? A coffee filter and a bandana. Just put it on your face like this, put a bandana over your face, and you're good to go. There's all sorts of different ways to protect yourself. And I am a very devout believer in doing all the right things, right? You do the right things, you get the right outcome, okay? Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to really look at. When it comes to Western medicine and their Western philosophy, this virus is a lipid-based virus. It's fatty acid. It's oil. That's why soap dissolves it, right? Soap kills it. So does sunlight. So do yourself a favor and get in the sun. Get your hands in the dirt. Get dirty. Go plant a garden if you can, if it's that time of year for you that you can do that. Go get outside. Here's how the here's how this thing works when it comes to the Chinese part of this, right? And just because you hear somebody sneeze doesn't mean that they're uh-oh. It means they have allergies. That's not it. In fact, one of the first symptoms that you're going to get if you were to come down with this virus is your taste, your smell. It goes away, and it goes away immediately. So if you notice that you kind of have some issues there and things don't taste as good, you might keep that in mind a little bit. But just because you sneeze doesn't mean that you're packing this thing, all right? So there is long-term damage if you get it caked into your lungs really bad. So let me show you how it works. Number one is you're going to lose your sense of smell. Number two, you're going to start getting a sore throat and kind of a dry cough. Number three, your body's going to start building mucus, and when that mucus starts to cake, it starts creating fibrosis in your lungs, and that is lifetime permanent damage to your lungs. So there's a lot of different ways you can prevent that caking. And number one is water. Water, water, water. Hydrate, 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 hydrate. Drink lots of water. When it comes to the Oriental medicines, the Chinese, Indian, when it comes to the Oriental side of this, they call it Wei Qi. It's when your body begins to be attacked. And so you're in the preventive stage, really, when you're in Wei Qi. So with Wei Qi, you want to be taking things like echinacea. It works on the surface of a cold, kind of. Astragalus works down in there deep. Slippery elm, mushrooms, right? Reishi mushrooms get down in there deep. And elderberry. I mean, they're buckhorn berries. There's so many natural herbs that work on that to protect you, right? And the other thing is, man, we have a super juice. It's called Global Blend. There's over 2,000 milligrams of aloe. Aloe is an antivirucidal, antibacterial cider, an anti-inflammatory. Man, there's just so many benefits. There's like 267 different vitamins and minerals and things in just aloe. So drink to your health. Hang on a second. So that's Wei Qi. When your body starts to feel it come on, you need to respond to things. And there's a lot of great herbs out there. There's teas. One of my favorites is Breathe Deep. You can buy it at almost any store. Another one is Throat Coat, and it all has slippery elm, licorice root, echinacea, astragalus. It has some great herbs in there. Then what happens is you go from the sore throat, now it's really attacking your system, and now your body begins to form phlegm, right? So our trick here is to keep that phlegm liquefied so it can't create fibrosis in your lungs and start doing real damage. And most of this is on older people, like Yehu here. But they call it yin qi, and that means you got it. So you really want to up dose your astragalus, your mushrooms, your reishi, your turkey tail, your lion's mane, your aloe vera, your licorice root. All of these things go in there and warm up, and that's what they are. They're herbs that warm. In fact, we have one product that I just absolutely love when I do my Global Blend, and it's called Immune. And it is loaded with the mushrooms. It is loaded with lion's mane. It's loaded with turkey tail. All of these different herbs work together to boost your immune system and to keep that phlegm from being able to form inside your lungs. Then the sad part is when you have yang qi. That's when you got it. You need oxygen. You need a breathing device to help you, and your lung tissue begins to break down. So what we want to do is protect ourselves and liquefy that mucus before it gets a chance to really get in there and start caking up. We need to get rid of the phlegm. And there's other things that you can do to keep your body from producing phlegm. It's like dairy products. You got to give them up for a little bit if you feel these symptoms, right? And the other thing is sweets. You got to give up the sweets because these viruses thrive on that, and it helps your body create more mucus with dairy products especially. So one of the main things is we really do have to protect ourselves and try to fight these negative forces out there. Get out of your head, get into your body, get into your mind, get into your spirit, get into your heart, right? Get in there and go to work. You can do breathing exercises. I can't remember what it's called, like Wim Hof or something like that. Can't remember. It's been a long time, but I do them all the time. And they're breathing exercises where you inhale as far as you can and you exhale. Exhale as much as you can. Inhale, exhale. Exercise the lungs. Keep them opened up. And there's so many herbs that warm the body. Cinnamon, garlic, licorice, honey, onions, lemons, peppers. I mean, these are things that warm the body, and it kind of helps clear the mucus out of the lungs. And then one of the other things that you really can do is just get outside, get some fresh air. Ultraviolet light destroys viruses, period. They destroy bacteria. That's what we need to all be doing. So hang on a second. Okay, you know what? And here's something for you to think about. There's been more people that have died from flu. 22 million people have died so far this year from flu. Okay, think about that. There's more people that have died from malaria and other issues than there has this. Now, I do believe that the worst is yet to come. I do believe that because there's a lot of people that just don't have any belief. They don't believe this is real. They think that it's a political stunt, and some people try to make it that way. But I got to tell you, this is some real stuff right here, right now. This is real stuff. 80% of the people that have it don't even have the symptoms. They just carry it. They did this study in Iceland, and they didn't do it with everybody in Iceland, so go easy on me here. But they did this massive study in Iceland where they went to a faraway country that is not suspected of any of this other crap that's going on in our big cities, right? Because that's where it's hitting, is in our big, big cities. Cities that are filthy in the first place. But I won't go there. I won't rant on that. But they did the study in Iceland, and they tested everybody they could, as many people as they possibly could, and it was a huge test group. It was in Iceland. Do you know that 50% of the community that they tested showed positive for this virus, but yet nobody had any symptoms. Nobody had any symptoms, but they all tested positive. It usually attacks smokers. And as my daughter tells me, you're going to see a lot of this from these young kids that are vaping. It is going to hurt their lungs even more, and that's what this does. It attacks your lungs. It creates fibrosis and shuts your lungs down and creates so much scar tissue that you don't really recover from things like that. You really don't, and it's kind of sad. So like I said before, it's a lipid-based virus. Soap and distancing. Masks, please. If you're going to go out in public, put on a mask. You don't know who's been where before you. You really don't. And this is only a temporary thing. We're going to get by this. We're going to get through this. And we're going to get through this stronger than we ever have before. So remember, if the virus does get in, it's going to affect your smell. Then you're going to have a sore throat. Then you're going to start getting a bunch of mucus. And that sneezing is not a virus. It's your allergies and other things that are going on. So here's some other things that I wanted to share with you because I was taking some notes. I sat in with Dr. Willard, Terry, and I got to look at some of the things that he'd been doing in his practice for a long time. And as you guys know, I studied under Terry for many years. I studied with Dr. John Weiss, head of epidemiology for the United States Olympic Committee. Studied with Dr. Francis Nettle, the nutritionist for the United States Navy SEALs. But my favorite has always been Terry. Dr. Terry Willard. He's the botanical advisor to the Canadian FDA, and I just recently sat in on another one of his sessions at the Wild Rose College. And one of the things that we just need to do more than anything is just protect our lungs so we don't get that fibrosis taking place. And you can do that a lot by diet, right? Licorice, onions, garlic, peppers, lemons, right? And we got to get back to the basics. And 98% of the people that catch this virus do not die. So relax. We're all going to get through this just fine. 80% of them that catch it don't even show any of the symptoms. So only testing people with symptoms makes our numbers go up, right? So we got to protect our family. Stay away from the junk food and consider some of the remedies that I've suggested in here. One is fire cider tea. Takes you about 4 weeks to make it. Think about that. Google fire cider tea. It's pretty slick, but horseradish warms you up. Cayenne peppers warms you up. When you use herbs that warm the body up, that phlegm, that mucus can't form. It liquefies it and you get it out. And, with some people, coughing and clearing it out is a good thing. Coughing and not being able to clear it out is a bad thing. So turn to your warming type herbs. I remember when I was a little kid, not many people even know what this word is. It's called croup, right? Probably don't even know what it is, but man, I would catch the croup so bad when I was a little kid that my family would rub a mustard plaster all over my chest, and it would loosen up all of that phlegm, and I would cough it all out. It would liquefy that. So why not go back to some of the basics? But first, we want to make sure you don't catch any of this crap so that we're on the up and up, right? And that's the big deal. So don't mix this up with cold and flus. This is a different kind of bug out there. So just load up on protection. I have some great things that I've used for many years. But fresh air is probably still the best. And if you can go out and plant a garden, start planting some of this stuff. It's kind of fun. But zinc is one of the most important minerals in the body because it controls your smell. It controls your taste. If you're deficient in zinc, things don't taste as good. So you keep eating, trying to do that. It's going to be amazing to see how much weight people gain during this. And it is a crisis. It's scary stuff. There's, I think, 8,000 people now that have died. And, I got to tell you, there's going to be more. I think that we're going to have 100 to 200,000 people die. It hasn't really hit the big places yet. It hasn't. So the best thing we can do is protect ourselves. I have some products that I just absolutely love. One, of course, is the Immune, loaded. And the other one is Advanced Omegas, because you want the fish oils. You want the omegas in. It boosts your immune system. And when you take these two together, they are an awesome protection for this. And then when you wash it down with some Global, some Superfruit, and then one of my favorites too now, I'm taking more of it, is Genesis. And what it does, it has a lot of resveratrol in there. So that's made from the skin of the red grape. And what I like about that is that it stops cancer cells from being able to proliferate. And I have cancer in my family. I've had a history of it. So I have to do a lot of things to protect myself. But if you could see my array of things, I believe one of the things that's most important is Propolis. It's a flavonoid, right? It's a bioflavonoid, actually. And it's like a proanthocyanid, and it gets in there and it cleanses your blood. And Propolis comes from beeswax in the cone. When bees start making their honeycomb, it's that thing that binds the cones together, and it's so high in flavonoids. So honey, right? So there's a lot of neat things you can do. Uptake your vitamin C, ester C, if you can find it. It's very good. But here's the other thing that I just really want people to think about, is being grateful. Being grateful and being appreciative. We live in abundance here. These herbs are all over. They've been healing people for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of years. Echinacea is not new. Peruvian cat's claw, Uncaria tomentosa, is not new. I take one of these. There's 500 milligrams of cat's claw. Why? Because it boosts your immune. So if I do all the right things, I load up on drops of echinacea, right? I load up on astragalus root that works down deep in your lungs. And every now and then, there's syrups out there that if you have congestion in your lungs, elderberry syrup is awesome to clear that phlegm out. And that's where our mission is. If you can feel that you have any of these issues going on, certainly go see a doctor. I'm not trying to change that. I'm just saying there's natural ways to protect yourself through food, vitamins, diet, vitamins, minerals, and herbs. And there are so many herbs that God has put them on this planet to take care of us, right? Aloe vera. Come on. We have over 2,000 milligrams of aloe just in our super juice alone. So if you do all these things and you do them right, there's teas that have blends in there. That's why I like the throat coat tea or the breathe deep tea, because it's loaded with slippery elm and licorice and vitamins and minerals. It really does boost the system. So I could rant for a while, but I will not. I just had to get that out there and share some things with you. This is not as bad as a lot of people think it is, so don't let it get in your head. Get outside, get exercise, stay away from other people right now. It's just temporary. They're already talking about people flipping out from cabin fever. Jeez, a helicopter was out in the streets last night over something, I don't know. But it doesn't apply to me. Right? The only thing that applies to us is us. Get inside your heart, get inside your body, and don't let this get inside your head. Thank you.